Back on that ghost grind. A lot of people say they don't like Ghost, but I've definitely loved every single Infinity Ward game that has ever been made. Treyarch, in my opinion, is only good for zombies, but of course I know a lot of people like them, especially Knifers just because the ballistic knife, but I've never liked Treyarch games for... Oh, shit. But I've never liked Treyarch games for their multiplayer. I've only really liked Infinity Ward multiplayer, but then of course I love Treyarch zombies, so that's why I buy the Treyarch games, of course. What is this guy doing? He's just tactically defending this area of the map. He's got it locked down. No one's trespassing him. About to get this asshole. Fucking Roscoe! Oh my god, this fucking guy!
Friendly SATCOM active.
Hello. Eat my fucking ass. Now, how many of you guys have heard that gaming is associated with like nerdiness or like geekiness? I'm sure all of you guys have heard this term before, but it's honestly coming to the point in our generation where gaming is like for everyone. Everyone is a gamer, basically. A lot of people, there's been this like fine line that we've drawn between what is a game and what isn't. Like, a lot of people don't even think of like Angry Birds or other games that you play on your phones like Candy Crush. A lot of people don't even classify those as games at this point because we don't view those as like a hardcore gamer, but if you think about it, all of those are video games, and it's crazy why we don't even think of those as video games anymore, and everyone who plays those is a gamer. But it's crazy that we don't even think of people that play those games as gamers, even though they are. But coming back to the statement I made earlier about gaming being associated with geekiness and nerdiness, I definitely think that being called a geek or a nerd has definitely not become as much of an insult anymore. I definitely think it's still an insult towards some people if someone's called a nerd, but I don't think that it's as much of an insult anymore. Oh my god, this fucking camper still! Fuck you, Roscoe. But being called a nerd or a geek definitely isn't as much of an insult anymore. And I think the more and more like people start realizing that, I think that geeks and like gamers, we all have a lot of fun doing what we do and we love what we do. And I think that's why it's becoming less and less of an insult. Like the other day on Twitter, I said something about video games and someone said, "Damn, dude, you're a fucking nerd." And I said, yeah, I am. Thank you. That's a compliment to me because I know that I am a nerd and I know that I love what I do. Like people say going to Comic-Con and stuff like that, that's bad. That means you're a virgin nerd, blah 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 this, blah 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 that. But I've been to Comic-Con once before, and it was honestly so much fun just being there and like being around all these geeks and nerds and stuff like that, people that are just like me. It was one of the most fun times I've ever had in my entire life. Like if you really think about it, the term like, oh well, video games are for geeks and nerds and stuff, like jocks saying that kind of stuff, that's dead. People saying that video games are for nerds is dead. Everyone plays video games because, just like I said earlier, almost everyone has games on their smartphones. Almost every household has a game console if you think about it, or games on their PC if they don't like consoles. Literally, I can say like 80%, maybe even 90% of the US population is a gamer. And I think why this has happened and why this is happening is because back when video games first came out and like the jocks were saying that video games and stuff like that was nerds and only like nerds played video games and stuff like that, is because gamers and nerds kind of created their own sort of culture and created their own like universe around this kind of thing, and we were having so much fun with it that these people that were saying that video games were only for nerds and stuff like that couldn't help but realize how much fun we were having, and then that's why they joined in. And that's why video games have become such a huge part of our generation today. I know there's been a lot of conversation about violent video games being the problem in our world, especially with all the shootings that have happened recently in our country. Every video game has a rating system on it, as you guys know, E, T, M, etc. And like 90% of the time, the parent is there when they buy a kid that's under 18 a video game that's rated M or T or whatever the case may be. That was a really bad voice crack. What the fuck? And I think it's really stupid when these parents accuse the violent video games their kids are playing when the parents are in charge of what their kids are playing. Like, blaming the video game industry for your child being violent because of video games is like blaming Playboy for your kid finding the Playboy magazines under your dad's mattress. Like, it doesn't make sense, and I think it's so stupid when these parents accuse the video game industry because of that. Anyways, guys, a pretty short video today, but I still hope you guys enjoyed regardless of that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to be looking forward to my part 3 of Alien Isolation this weekend. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been Max. Peace.